Hello, hello. I'm Teresa with Teresa Rene Art. Let me know when you're here. I'm live with you today from Atlanta, Georgia in the United States over on the Pentart Facebook page. Hope you guys are doing great. Let me know when you come on. Make sure to say hello. And if you do happen to watch us on replay, make sure to type in hashtag replay so me and the Pentart folks know you were here. Again, I'm Teresa. I'm the owner of Decoupage Queen and the Royal Court Arts and Crafts. We are the distributors for Pentart products in the United States. I'm lucky enough to be able to be on the Pentart creative team, and I am usually live here from the US once a month. So hello, Cindy. Hello, Jill. Hope you guys are doing great. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Rene. Hi, you guys. It is a rainy, nasty day here in Georgia, but that's okay because we're inside crafting, which is what we love to do. We're going to work on something really fun for you today. I have an hour, and I did a little bit of practicing. Hey, Lois. Hi, Amreen. Hello, Trina. Hello, hello. Hey, Julie. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I am going to be live again tonight at 6 o'clock Eastern time. That is in 6 hours from now for those of you who are on a different time zone. I'm going to be live again this evening doing another project. But today we're going to do something kind of different, a little shabby chic planter. So the description said planner, but it is actually a planter. It is this thing right here. So I'm going to turn my camera down because I have 1 hour, you guys. They've told me it's okay if I go a little bit over, but I don't want to, I don't want to push my luck too much. Can you hear me okay? Make sure, let me know if you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up if you can, or type in that you can. I hope you can. StreamYard's been a little bit wonky. There's been some updates. Thank you. Okay, so I got some thumbs up. All right. So what we're going to do is we're working on this planter. This is just a plastic vase planter. Okay, and it does have some fancy stuff inside to where, oh my gosh, 2 hours. I just don't have that much time in my day anyway. So 1 hour is like perfect for me right now. So this is just a plastic planter. We're going to make it a little bit more shabby chic. I did have to do some prep work on this, you guys. I just wanted you to be aware. This is resin. This is an IOD mold. I cast it in resin, and I've gone ahead and glued it on here because I needed to do that while it was still pliable. So I glued it on there, and I've already covered the entire thing with bonding primer. So, and then I left a spot. We're going to do a little thing here. So this is just a little tiny piece of the paper from one of the Sweet and Sassy papers that we had in our collection. This is one of the Rose Sweet and Sassy papers, and we're going to decoupage that on here. Then we've got this little beautiful frame that we've already casted and primed and taped on to form it around the shape. So I have done a little bit of prep work, you guys, just in the interest of time. But it's nowhere near complete. So we still have a lot of things to show you. So we're going to go ahead and get this on here. This is, again, it's a Decoupage Queen paper. This one is by my friend Lisa from Sweet and Sassy Treasures. She designed this paper. So first I'm going to lay this out where I think it goes. I like that. I like that a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and get that on here. Try not to move it in the process. The thing about this particular project is it's kind of round. So I'm hoping that I don't end up sliding all over the place while I'm trying to work. It's possible. but we're going to make the best of it. And if I need to bring my camera up higher, I can, but I think we'll be okay. All right, so let me get this on here without moving it too much. I kind of like that placement. I think that looks good. So let me stick my finger there, make sure it doesn't move. And again, I have already primed. I've primed the whole thing with bonding primer, you guys. This one, the Pentart bonding primer. I primed the castings as well as the planter, and I did it about a week ago. So it is ready to paint, and it should take our paint pretty well. It should be good to go. Hello, Juliana. Need the cradle thing. Yeah, I do need a cradle thing. I need to tell Tracy to send me one of those cradle things, huh? I mean, I could probably figure it out. In fact, now that you say cradle thing, what I could do is just take another frame mold and sort of prop it on there. There we go. So now I have a cradle. Look at that. Hey, Judith, how are you? Hello, Kovazny. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry. All right, so let's see if I missed anybody. All right, so thank you guys for sharing us out. I know Pentart appreciates that. You know, Pentart is still relatively new in the USA, even though we've had it for about 3 years now. Our retailers have also been able to get it from us for about 2.5 years, and it is slow. You know, it's slowly kind of becoming the go-to product line for most of the independent DIY shops and crafters. So super proud of what we've been able to accomplish with Pentart in the USA. And I have personally been using it almost exclusively for about 4 or 5 years now. So it is these are always my products of choice. So no, people don't even ask me anymore what brand I'm using. So, all right, so I'm going to stick this on here. I put it on with heavy body gel, and I'm going to go ahead and press that down, and it should start to grab here pretty quickly. And again, I've already primed this one with bonding primer as well. All right. Okay, so we'll get that on there, and just such a lovely little shabby chic image designed by, again, this paper was designed by my friend Lisa Lawrence of Sweet and Sassy Treasures. I painted the frame with bonding primer, so it just has a coat of bonding primer on it. That's all it has on it. I casted it first in black resin, so that's why it looks kind of chunky. Okay, so what I want to do with this is I actually am going to be painting. I'm going to be painting this 2 different colors, and I'm going to be giving it some texture. So I'm going to be using the Decor Paint Chalky today. I'm going to be using the cream white, and I'm going to be using this one. This is the turquoise green. So I'm going to be using both of these today. I'm going to be using this one up on the top and this one down at the bottom. We're going to make it a little bit of two-tone. We're going to give it some texture, and we're going to give it some a little bit of crackle as well. So what we're going to do first is let's start with this one. And what we will do first is I'm going to add a little bit of 3D powder in with my paint in order to give the planter a little bit of texture. So this is 3D powder. This one is medium. This comes in a few different grain sizes, fine, medium, and coarse. This is the medium that I'm using, which I like a lot. And I'm going to sprinkle some of that onto my little plate here. And then I'm going to get a brush and some paint. I need a lot of paint. I need a lot of paint. So let me grab my little spatula. I hope I have enough of this color to go around. We'll see. If not, I might have to switch to a different color. I should have grabbed another one at the shop today. I'm going to add a little bit of water. All right. So let's start mixing that in there. If you add too much powder, it will start to get a little bit, it'll get thick like a paste. I don't really want it quite like a paste. I want it just really to have just a hint of texture. I'm not trying to paste it on. I'm just trying to paint it with a little bit of texture and movement. So I think that's good. I think that's sufficient. I'm going to go ahead and start painting. I'm going to paint the top, and the molds are also going to be this color. I may have to kind of work a section at a time. So we have some texture in here. We're going to add even a little bit more texture as well. With some cracking paste. I'm going to show you something fun I discovered with cracking paste. So if I didn't have the bonding primer already on my plastic piece, it would not be sticking very well. So you really do need to have a bonding primer layer. If you're painting plastic, the bonding primer is going to be essential for that. Okay, so I'm going to switch to a different brush here so I can get around my mold as well. This whole mold is going to be the same color, and I'm also painting it with the textured mixture. Hi Sylvia, how are you? So what are you guys up today? Anybody doing anything fun or exciting? Again, I mentioned I am live again this afternoon at 6 p.m. on my own page. I'll be doing a Valentine's Day project. And then I will be live again in a few different places. I'll be live again on Saturday morning. We are going to be starting a PentArt 101 series, which is designed to kind of go through all of the products, to go through all of the basics, and sort of like as an introduction to PentArt. If you've never used these products or you're just not super comfortable using them, we are going to go each week 10 o'clock on my page. That's at Teresa Rene Art. And if somebody has my Facebook page link, you're welcome to share that. But that's going to be on Teresa Rene Art starting on Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern. And we're going to be doing, we're going to be starting Saturday with heavy body gel. So I'm super excited about that. I did this same series with all of our retailers in the USA in our private retailers group. I had really good feedback from it. So the problem with the retailers group, though, is we can't share those lives anywhere because it's a private group. So they're sort of, you know, and plus we talked about other stuff that was not PentArt related. It was definitely a fun, chatty Saturday morning session. But we wanted to do something that was more geared to broader knowledge, and then also something that they could point back to. PentArt has tons and tons on their YouTube page. They also have tons and tons of videos, quick demos, bite-sized demos on their YouTube page, which, believe it or not, is where, you know, I spent a lot of time when I first got these products. I spent a lot of time watching the PentArt demos to learn how, you know, different ways of using things. So I think that looks pretty good. I am going to find my glasses real fast. Forgot them. I don't really need them because I'm not doing any fine detail work, but I sure would like to have them. And I don't see them. I'm looking around. I don't see my glasses. Oh, here they are. Look, I found them. Okay. Awesome. Ready. Good. I'm also going to turn my air on because it is too warm at the moment. So bear with me 1 minute. Let's switch over to cool. There we go. All right. It warmed up a little bit here this week, you guys, which was a little unexpected. Okay. So I like that. It's looking nice and crusty. One thing I will say though, if you're painting with the 3D powder mixed in your paint, they can be a little bit difficult to clean because the sand will get down into the ferrules. And so just make sure you're not using your best brushes. And I just realized that I grabbed one of my awesome Italian brushes that I loved, that I have sacrificed to 3D powder. So I will see if I can rectify that and get it somewhat clean. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So I'm going to go all the way across. I'm painting these molds in that same color scheme as well. So back over here on the back, this is a mold from IOD. I do not know which one it is. I'm not an IOD retailer. The only molds that I sell anymore are La Blanche molds. But I buy all the molds from all the brands because I'm a mold addict. But don't ask me what the names are because I don't know. So I'm sure there are people on here who do. And I just tried to make something kind of interesting, some sort of configuration that looked interesting. So I'm not trying to get too hung up on what the exact molds that I used here were, because you could do this same kind of configuration. You just sort of break them apart and mix and match. These are actually two different molds. And just go around and do what works for you. So in order to get the resin to form like this, you want to peel it off before it's really cured. So like within the first 5 minutes or so of uncasting it, you want to pull it off and then conform it around to the shape. And then what you're going to do is you just need to tape it down. So you tape it down with like painter's tape or something. And then you let it cure that way. And then you come back with your heavy body gel and secure it on. Okay. So let's get this one back over here. Hello, Dolly. Hey, Blanche. Hi, Betty. That's where I knew about it. Yeah, I'll be on again at 6 Eastern on my Facebook page, which is, Trina shared it up there. It's facebook.com Teresa Rene Art. Trina, you're working. Sylvia, you just finished with work. Yeah, it's late there. We have some people. We got people all over, you guys. How fun. I love spending time and meeting new friends over here when I'm live on Pentart, because I get to meet people from all over the world. Pentart is really an international company. Creators all over the world use their products. And I'm just so proud and so honored to be part of this international community. It really just, you know, art is universal, you guys. There's really no barriers when it comes to creating. And of course, we usually, you know, like our focus at Decoupage Queen, of course, is decoupage. But we do a lot of mixed media too. So it's not just decoupage. We do tons of mixed media. And all kinds of awesome stuff. Okay, so I'm going to set that down. And then I'm going to switch over. Let me put this brush in water and this brush in water and this in water. And I'm going to set this one to the side. And now I'm going to switch over to this other color down here. Thank you, thank you. All right. And we're going to switch over. This is the Decor Paint Chalky and Turquoise Green. So let me get that on here as well. Which brush do I want to sacrifice? This one's kind of, you know, let me get the grossest one I can find. I guess one of these is fine. They're not that expensive. All right, so let's get, this is the turquoise color. Let me just clean this off. I'll grab my palette knife in there and scoop some out. We have every chalk paint color available. Every color we have it. Our retailers have it available to them in the USA. So we did bring in all of the Pentart chalk paint lines, colors. We have it all. We have every acrylic paint color. So we've got tons and tons and tons of paint choices. To choose from. All right, so let's mix that up. I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to do the exact same thing here with the 3D powder. Again, I'm using the 3D powder in medium. It really is such an awesome, awesome community, you guys. And they usually have 3 lives a week. And I think every week they try to do at least one of them in English. So I know Jill does English speaking lives as well as Phyllis. And of course I do as well. I'm not sure if we have anybody else on the team who does English speaking. But I know at least once a week we've got an English presenter on. So our USA peeps can come understand what's being said. All right, so now I'm just taking, this is that turquoise blue color. And I'm coming in, I'm doing a two-tone. So down at the bottom where there's a little bit of separation, we're going to do this one. So one of the things that I love about this product line is they, of course, if you're not very, if you're not into mixing your own things or creating formulas, or, you know, if you want stuff that's kind of pre-made for you, they have tons and tons of pre-made choices. But they also have tons of things that allow you to sort of make your own recipes. So if you're more into alchemy and creating, seeing what kind of fun things you can do by blending a few products together, we have plenty of things to support that as well. So the reason I mentioned that is because this texture that I'm getting by adding the 3D paste is quite similar to another product that's on the market that they have called the stone paste. So it is similar. It's a similar kind of texture to stone paste, which is also, it's pre-colored and it's available in tons of different colors. But if you want that same look and you don't want to be limited to the colors that they're offering, then you can make something that achieves the same effect yourself. So I love that there's multiple paths to really the same effect within the product line. And so on my Saturday sessions, I'm going to be showing a lot of that, kind of how you can achieve different types of things with the same products. These products are very, very versatile. So when you start getting into mixing things with paint or mica powders or pigments, you can just, the sky is really the limit. Okay. Can I get that in North Ireland? Oh, Dolly, I'm so sorry to hear you're not feeling well. That is not good. That is not good. I know a couple of people who have been struck down with the flu already this year, but I hope you recover quickly. All right. So it's already looking quite different from when we started. I think you would agree. I'm going to get my smaller brush up in there. Get my smaller brush up in there. Hey, Rima, how are you? Thank you for joining. Let's see. Find you a supplier. Thank you, Jill, for doing that. I don't know of it. I don't really know the suppliers outside of USA. I know a few of them in Europe, but not really anywhere else. Okay. All right. All right. So I'm not like being ultra precise here. I can always go back in and touch some things up if I need to. All right. I think for the most part I got it. I don't know if you see any more holes that I might have missed. Okay, so let me hit this with a dryer now, and then we're going to add a little bit more texture. Thank you, Betty. I mean, it's so pretty, and I think it would even look nice if you stopped here. But you know we're not going to stop here. We're going to keep going. All right. So now I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you something that might blow your mind. It might not. You might just be like, meh. What we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of cracking paste everywhere. So we need to get our primer down first. Remember, when you're using Crackle products, you won't always want to use a dry brush for both steps, a dry soft brush for both steps. So we're going to grab our our universal cracking primer. We're going to grab that, and I'm going to start kind of randomly putting my Crackle primer around, not everywhere, just some places. I'll do it up here too. Hopefully I can remember where I put it. It does kind of show a little bit differently. It gives off a little bit of a gloss. Okay. So we'll put our step 1 down, and then we've got to let that get dry. And then we'll come back in with step 2. And I'll show you the thing that may or may not blow your mind. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if it does or not. Jill can probably guess what it is. Yeah, today I was just kind of playing around, and I thought, well, what if? And I did a little bit of testing, and sure enough, it does what I thought. All right. So let me see. All right. Let's get that dry. I think you know. You probably do know. You probably do know. All right. Let's get this dry. So it's going to take a minute. Just have to wait just a few more minutes. We're almost ready. Yes. And then I'm going to take my sweet time telling you. Okay. I think we're most of the way there. All right, I think we're most of the way there, guys. You want it to be completely dry. In this case, I still have a little bit of white showing, but it's dry enough to work. I don't want to spend all day with my hairdryer here. Let me just, I'm going to mix my other paints over here just to keep them kind of wet. All right, so what I wanted to reveal is that when you open up your cracking paste, and if I just were to put that on with a palette knife, the texture of it is smooth, which is different from the texture that I have here because I applied 3D powder into my paint. So my question was, what if I applied 3D powder into the top component of the cracking paste? Would it still crack? Well, the answer is yes, it will. So I did do that. I put the cracking paste, I put 3D powder into the cracking paste just to test it, because sometimes when you add things together, it will change the chemical properties and it won't react the way it's supposed to. And I didn't want to have these patches of like smooth paste over where I had made where I had made the 3D powder texture. So I decided, let's just test it out. Let's see. And sure enough, it works. So now we'll have some consistent texture all the way around, along with a few more cracks. So was that what you thought, Jill? Let me know. I'm just curious if you had the same thought. So yes, you can mix 3D powder in with your cracking paste, which to me is like now just so handy to know, because I thought, well, how am I going to get it textured again? Of course, yes, I'm going to paint over it. But wouldn't it be so much better if I could start with the same texture? So we're going to go get, and I can see the areas because it left behind like a little bit of a gloss. So I can see the areas that where the component one have been applied. It's not that hard for me to find them. So I'm just going in with my palette knife, and I'm just going to go in and apply that cracking paste with my palette knife. And this is going to give it some nice cracking texture that's going to show up really beautifully when we do the antiquing step, which we are going to do. We're going to use antique gels. We could use laser, we could use wax, but I'm a fan of the antiquing gels. So, and then of course, you know, when you apply it with a palette knife, it's got a texture that way too, because it kind of looks like stuccoed on. Yeah, medium. I'm using medium right now. Fine will also work. But I've been wanting to do something like this for a while. So I don't know if you guys follow Marie Art. She's an artist. I think she's out of Poland. She did something in a similar colorway, although she covered her whole piece with fine line. So I didn't want to completely replicate her piece because it was a paid class. So what I'm doing is it's definitely inspired by the piece that she shared, but it's a totally different technique than how she did hers. So Marie Art is the name of the artist who inspired. I've been thinking about it since last spring when she shared it. I'm like, I have got to do one of those Shabby Chic planters. So I had gone out and I bought like 4 plastic planters, and it's been on my to-do list ever since. And then Lisa came out with this paper it's either this past fall or spring. I don't remember. I don't know if Nancy's on, if she can tell me when Lisa's paper came out, but I thought that would just be perfect with those colors. So we're going to go ahead, and even though this is already painted, we're just going to apply it right over, because once it's dry and crackled, we can paint it again. So, all right. And I think I'm going to have enough to go around. And again, you can see where the first layer is because it's going to be slightly, it's going to be kind of glossy and the color is going to be slightly darker than the rest of the piece. And if you can vary the thickness as well, so some will create big cracks and some will create little cracks. That's an awesome way to do it. Okay, it might be another cool look. Yeah, the fine line, it looks so pretty. The fine line was really pretty, but we're going to just do it a little bit differently. And I wasn't convinced that I could get my paint. I am not, when it comes to chalk paint and furniture paint, you guys, I am not the best. I'm really not the best painter. That's why I don't do furniture anymore. So I wasn't convinced that I could get it as smooth as I really wanted to. I need just a touch more here. All right, bye, Dolly. Yeah, like chalk paint, I love the way it looks when other people do it, but I don't always love the way it looks when I use it. So I really don't use it all that often. I tend to prefer acrylic, but I love the chalk paint colors because they tend to be a little bit more on the shabby chic side. Okay. All right, so now we've covered up a lot of our beautiful paint work already with that paste. Let's come in. Bye, Teresa. We'll see you next time. Now let's come in. Let's dry again. And we'll paint it again, and then we're ready to antique it. We're probably going to be a little bit over. So we're starting to crack. This will dry relatively fast. You can see we're starting to crack there. I didn't put it on really, really thick. And if you happen to get the paste somewhere where you didn't have the step one, don't worry, because what'll happen is it just won't crack. So we're getting lots of good cracks there. Bye, Betty. All right, I think we're pretty dry. Let's come back in with our paint. If it's still wet enough, I'm going to dampen it a little bit. And let's cover up our white. And I'm trying to just kind of put it on gently without, I don't want to fill in my cracks. So I'm not using like a really thick amount of paint. I'm just trying to get the color back to where it was. All right. We'll have one more round of drying. And then we'll be ready to antique it. We actually need to seal it first before we antique it. So we'll do that just to do it correctly. This is why I did all my molds and stuff ahead of time. But see how pretty that crackle is. And then when we get our antiquing gel in there, it's going to fill in those cracks. It's just going to be so beautiful and so vintage looking. So it looks like kind of layers that have been peeled away over time, cracked off and peeled away. I might risk more of the crackle falling off over time, Rima. I mean, it's pretty well glued down there. See, but see, you really do need to seal it to kind of keep all the stuff that you've added intact. Before you go, because I'm going to be doing a lot of, when I do the antiquing paste, I'm going to be doing a lot of rubbing and wiping. And so I want all the stuff that I've used to stay on as much as possible. All right, so let's see if I can get a little bit more of this one in here. It does look quite chippy. And the thing I love about, one of the things that I love about Shabby Chic pieces is you don't have to be quite as precise when it comes to how perfect your paint work is and all that, because it needs to kind of look like it's been aging for 100 years. All right, and I accidentally got a little bit of, oh gosh. Well, and that's it. So like if you follow along, Trina, then maybe you just get the one thing a week or whatever, and then by the end of the 30 weeks, you have a whole arsenal of stuff to choose from. All right, let me, I need to do one more thing. I'm going to come back around here, around the frame. All right. So I am done with both of these. And I'm going to close this up. Let me go ahead and dry one more time. Then we're going to seal one more time, and then we're going to dry it. Okay, I think it's drying up everywhere. I am going to get my matte varnish, and let me see which one I have close by. What do I have close by here? Let's see. You guys are gonna, y'all are gonna hate me. I'm gonna use Soft Touch. I happen to be sold out of this at the moment, unfortunately, but it's what I have right here. So we're getting it back in a week or so, though. I'm using Soft Touch varnish. It's going to dry kind of matte with a velvety finish. I'll go ahead and use it on this one also. Oh no, everyone's going to kill me for using this one. And I'm trying not to fill in my cracks too much, so I'm just sort of going over it gently. Just grabbing what I had, guys. I know, I love Soft Touch too. So we're just do the whole thing. And you could certainly varnish it again after the antiquing gel step if you wanted to. In fact, you probably should. Everything smells like burnt plastic in here with all the heat I've been using on this. All right, so let's just do it correctly. All right, there we go. It's worth doing. It's worth doing right. Right? All right. Close that up. Let's dry it one more time. And then we'll do the antiquing gel, which will be the last step for today. So in the meantime, I'm going to let you guys decide if we're going to use umber or what other choices do I have? Ochre or this one might be interesting too. We have olive, umbra, or ochre. So I'll let you guys decide. We can always layer them a little bit too. It depends on which foils, Trina. Oh, are you asking about Remus foils? Olive isn't one I would normally choose. So I'm good with olive. All right, we're pretty dry. Ideally, I'd be a little bit more dry. Like I wouldn't be able to see any more remaining, but it's dry to the touch. So we're gonna roll with it. And I think what I will do, let's just start with the olive. Let's see how it goes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray it with a little bit of water first. And then I'm going to put on my, I'm going to put it on, and then I'm going to wipe away. And I'm going to make sure I get all in these little details. I'm going to spray it a little bit, and then now I'm going to wipe away. So it's the wiping away part that starts to leave behind the beautiful texture. And it looks like it's like, and it starts to fill in those cracks there. And it looks like it's 100 years old. And ideally, you know, I would do this after a few hours or something. I certainly wouldn't force it dry and then try to do it. But, you know, for demo purposes, it's fine. I love I'm really liking the choice of the olive because it sort of looks mossy. It really does look like it could have been sitting outside. So that was a really good choice, you guys. So I want to just show you the impact of that. We'll keep going. We'll go, let's do about another, I know I've been live for 110. Let's go a little bit longer because I really do want to show you the whole piece. Yeah, I think it looks a little mossy too, and I like it a lot. So my first, if I had have chosen, that's why I really love it when I poll the audience and you guys choose something different than what I would have chosen, because my choice would have been the umber, which would have given it a completely different look. But I really like this. And so sometimes I need other people to chime in and let's try something else, because sometimes we get stuck in our defaults. You sort of do what you've always done, and then you're afraid to try something new because you don't know how it's going to turn out. And so this gives me a chance to experiment. My olive is full because I never use it, but I can tell you I'm probably going to be using it a lot more. Okay. So I really, really like that. It's like, oh, this is the one I use, you know, it's like gold wax. It took me the longest time to finally try different waxes besides gold wax. So you want to really push the product down into all the little recessed areas. And then what you're doing is you're wiping away the tops. Because that's where all the aging settles, is down in all the nooks and crannies, right? So I hope you learned something today. I hope you are equipped to try something new. Maybe to break out a couple little spring projects. So I will say, even though this project, even though it looks like it's been sitting outside for 100 years, you wouldn't necessarily want to keep it outside. You know, you should consider something like this more of an indoor fine art thing from now on. So it's not really, I mean, unless you want to continue the the natural aging process. But yeah. Okay. So let's come in and we will go all the way around. You can highlight the molds with wax, which I may do like tomorrow when it dries completely. I may come in and highlight some molds with a little bit of wax or something. I had planned to use a little bit of the gold pigment powder on the molds, but I decided to make them white instead. To kind of give a more subtle separation. So we didn't use any pigment powders. Yeah, you can use it. You could put a, you could put an indoor plant for sure. And then that antiquing paste just goes right down in those cracks and finishes the look. So that's why we did all the crackling, was so that we could get all this yummy antiquing paste down in there really good. The antiquing gel does tend to dry pretty fast. That's why I'm keeping it a little bit wet, so that it won't dry too dark. And so I'm keeping it a little bit damp before I apply it to keep it from drying so fast. And you get it too dark, you can always come back in and dry brush a little bit with the original color too, just to lighten it up or soften it up a little bit. So I could take my chalky paint and come back in and dry brush it with my chalky paint to add a couple highlights. Or you can use waxes to do the same thing. Okay. So I think I'm just about done. What I am going to do is I'm going to come in. I'm actually going to, because this picture is now too clean. And so I'm going to come in and I'm going to add a little bit of antique paste in here. Isn't that amazing, Sue? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So this image is too clean now compared to the rest of it. So what we can do, let's tone this back a little bit. I'm just going to add, where's my umbra? I'm going to add my umbra, this one. And I'm going to dab that in here. Thank you, guys. Total transformation from where we started, huh? All right, so I'm going to just take that. I'm going to dab that in here and go all over my image as well. And now that's a little bit aged back too. I don't want it to be too aged back, but enough, right? Okay. So I think I'm pretty happy with that overall. I can't really complain. You guys see anything else that you want me to do? See anything that needs fixing? We'll let that dry. And tomorrow we will add, I'll probably add a little bit of gold wax. You know, I can't resist my gold wax. I want to put gold wax on it so bad right now. Or even like white wax to clean it up a little bit. But I think it's really, you know, and I could just come back in with like dry brushing and hit these highlights again too. I know it's a problem. I got a little spot here I need to fix. But anyway, you get the idea. That's the overall concept. I think I achieved what I set out to do today. So thank you guys for joining me. And I will see you next time. I'll be back. I'll be live again at 6 p.m. Don't forget, on my page. And I will see you again very soon. If not over there, then back over here in about a month. And look forward to seeing y'all then. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.